Welcome to Chris Cook for You Too. Today I'm going to be doing a chocolate layer cake, and I'm going to be featuring my Cardinal French coffee press. That's going to be the coffee that we're going to use in this layer cake. So let's get started with the rest of the ingredients. You're going to need all-purpose flour, baking soda, cocoa, vanilla extract, salt, light brown sugar, softened butter, eggs, sour cream, and of course the coffee from my Cardinal French coffee press. So I'm going to go away, get myself prepared, and I'll meet you at the blender. Be right back. Hey, I'm at the mixer and now we're going to start with the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my 1 cup of butter. And that is softened butter. Okay. Now, once I get that 1 cup of butter in and I start to blend it, I'm going to mix it with my 3 cups of brown sugar. Now, you're going to mix this until it's fluffy. So, that's going to take a little minute. Now you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you're going to cook this cake until it springs back at roughly about 30 to 35 minutes. And this should be a very good chocolate cake. Now, once I've added all of my sugar and I'm allowing that to beat together, I'm going to go ahead and mix together all of my dry ingredients. Here I have 2 2/3 cup of flour, and as you know, I will put the recipe at the bottom of the tutorial. To that, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of cocoa. And I'm mixing together all of my dry ingredients. I have 3 teaspoons of baking soda. And I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Those are my dry ingredients, and you want to go ahead and blend those together. Okay. Now my butter and my brown sugar is creaming together well. So you're going to start to add your eggs one at a time. Now normally what I do is I crack the eggs into another dish and then I slowly add them into the cake. Now, why am I doing it that way? Because you don't want to use a egg that is spoiled or rotten because you've messed up all the ingredients if you crack it directly over in the cake. So you want to crack it one at a time into another container and then pour it into the cake. And you want to make certain that your eggs are blending well. And you see how that's creaming up? And it looks real good. This is my 3rd egg that I'm adding. And I have 1 more egg to add. Now, not only does it save you from making, putting a rotten egg in there and then you're having to throw away all of your mixture, but it also saves you in case you accidentally crack and leave a piece of the shell over in with the egg. Now that's blending up very nicely. Now I'm going to stop this for a minute just to scrape down my sides. Spatula. I'm going to scrape my sides together. And you see how fluffy that looks? And I'm going to start it back. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in my vanilla flavor, and this is 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavor. Sitting off to the side, I already have both of my cake pans. I've already buttered and floured my cake pans, and these are 10-inch round cake pans. Okay, now this is going to be enough batter so you can actually use 3 10-inch rounds if you want to, but I'm going to use 2 because I think I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, now I do have my Cardinal French coffee press sitting off to the side, and this is going to be the coffee that's going to supply my cake. So I'm going to go ahead. This coffee is still warm, and I'm going to need 1 1/3 cups of coffee. I'm going to go ahead and pour it up and get ready to add it to the mix as well. Now that that's creamed up well, I'm going to start to add my mixed ingredients. I'm sorry, my dry ingredients. They've already been blended up well. And I'm going to go ahead and start to add them to my cake. Now I'm going to alternate this with my sour cream that I have sitting off to the side over here. My sour cream, I have 1 1/3 cups. So I'm going to alternate the dry ingredients with the sour cream. And that cake really looks good. I'm going to add some more of the dry ingredients. And I'm going to keep on alternating until I get everything into the bowl. More sour cream that I'm adding right now. Don't rush it, just make certain that you get everything in your mixer. If you spill a little bit, that's okay. So I'm going to need a little bit more of the sour cream added in. Clean up my mess over here. Okay. Add more of my dry ingredients. And this cake really looks good. The batter really looks good. I'm going to alternate with more of my sour cream. And you're going to continue to use this process until everything is incorporated in your cake. Now you don't see me do a lot of cakes. I try to pick the ones that are real easy because people will not use the ingredients that I tell them, and then they'll get upset because their cakes didn't come out like mine. Well, if you don't use the ingredients that I tell you to use it, and if you don't use it like I tell you to use it, you can't expect to get the same results that I'll get it. But I guarantee you, if you try this cake, you're going to like it. Look at how that cake is actually fluffing up. This is about a 30-minute process. the sour cream. Okay, now I have all of my sour cream in. Now I'm going to add the rest of my cake batter, or my cake dry ingredients, to the batter. Okay, I'm going to clean up this area over here. That cake really looks good. Okay, now is the time for me to add the coffee. So now the coffee, I'm going to start to pour that in a little bit at a time. And this coffee was brewed using my Cardinal French coffee press. So I just brewed up the coffee. Now I'm pouring it into the cake batter. And you actually need a cup and a half. I'm going to stop this one more time, and I'm going to mix in the bottom to make sure that everything is incorporated well. Okay. And you need to stop your mixer every so often and do make certain that the bottom is well blended. Start it back up. And I'm going to finish putting in my coffee. Okay. Now, this recipe called for 1 1/3 cups of coffee, so I'm going to pour in my third now. Now, you stay with me during this whole process. Okay. Cleaning up this little mess I've made here. Okay, now this is ready for me to pour it into my pans. Okay, I want you to take a look at it, what that batter actually looks like. It looks real good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and pour it into my 2 cake pans. And again, I'm going to put it in a 350-degree oven, and I'm going to bake this off for 30 to 35 minutes. And it should be fine. And I just want to make certain that everything at the bottom is well incorporated. So I'm going to move these items over. I'm going to go ahead and pour this up. And you want to make certain that your batter is even in both pans. And I'm going to pour this one up. That cake batter looks real good. You know me, I try to get every little bit out. And that's why it's good to use a spatula, because a spatula will go back in there and get what you normally would not get with a spoon. Okay. Okay, now I have all of the cake batter in, and I'm just going to move it around. And what I normally do is I kind of make a little hole in the center. And it's not quite a hole, it's just that I push it back. And I do that with both of my cakes. And the reason I do that is because sometimes you get that center that will puff up. So you don't want your center to puff up on you. So go ahead and push it back. And then we're going to drop it. And the reason why I do that is just so I can release the air bubbles that's on the inside. Because sometimes you can bake a cake and then you have bubbles all the way through it, air pockets all the way through it. Well, if you drop it, this will prevent the air bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my oven, and I'll bring you back in about 30 to 35 minutes. Be right back. Timer just went off, so I'm going to take these cakes out of the oven. Cake number 1, and here is cake number 2. Now you have to allow 10 minutes before you can even attempt to take them out of the pan. But one thing that you want to do to test and to make certain that your cake is done is you want to stick a straw in, and if that straw comes back clean, then your cakes are done. Mine came back clean. The cakes are done. I'm going to allow these cakes 10 minutes to sit here and cool. Then I'm going to turn them out on the rack and let them completely cool. I will frost the cakes, and then I'll come back and show you exactly what these cakes look like. Be right back. Okay, now we're back, and I finished frosting the cake. As you can see, cake came out very well. And I did cut the layers in half. And the reason for that is because I put frosting all between the layers, so instead of looking like it's a 2-layer cake, it's actually going to look like it's a 4-layer cake. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this cake. Set up a piece. Okay. And then I'm going to pour myself a cup of coffee, because I have it sitting right here. And I'm going to give it a quick stir. Okay. And here you have it. This is the cake that I made using the coffee from my Cardinal coffee press. And this is the coffee that I'm going to drink while I eat my piece of cake. Okay, I hope you will try this recipe. I truly do feel that you will enjoy it. And I know you will enjoy the coffee. And it's nothing like having cake and coffee. So as always, thank you for watching. Chris Cook for you too. Bye.